We'll now open today's licensing hearing meeting. First on the agenda is approval of the minutes of August 14th. Do I have a motion on the table?
Only one speaker. Motion to approve the minutes from the was it August 16th meeting?
And I'll second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I just wanted to make note that Commissioner Guarnasso is out today ill, and we wish her the best, and she should be back for our next meeting. On that note, I will say that on any issues that come up to vote, if it's a 1-1 vote, then we will table it until Commissioner Guarnasso can look at the issues and vote on it. First item on the agenda is Speakeasy. Okay, we'll table that for now. Second application, item number 2, is CW Leasing LLC.
Mr. Chairman, members, James Cipolletta, 385 Broadway, Revere, on behalf of the applicant. Gentlemen, this is a revisit to the License Commission, having been before the Commission last year on behalf of CBW Lending, which has acquired the Wonderland Dog Track property within the last year or so. Previously, there had been, and for many years, a parking storage license at Wonderland. The license was surrendered at the time that the MBTA had finished its parking garage, and the agreement between the then owners and the city of Revere was, and the MBTA, was that they would cease the commuter parking when the MBTA finished its parking facility. That happened. Also, in that time frame, what happened is that CBW Lending out of New York acquired the Wonderland property and wishes to continue not the commuter parking, but the storage. We were able to do the storage of the motor vehicles in the past because it was viewed then as an accessory use to the live parking lot that went to the dog track. When we came to the License Commission last year, after the dog track closed, we were informed by the city planner that we would need a special permit now, things having changed, and the use of the dog track having gone away. We would need to go to the City Council, which we did. We obtained the special permit from the City Council. It's been duly recorded, and we have refiled the application here for the calendar year 2013, realizing from prior discussions that we would be responsible for paying for 2013 and then renewing for 2014 should the Commission see fit to grant the license. So this is not a park and fly. It is not commuter parking. It's a contract that the owner now has with several of the rental agencies, Avis being the last one, Thrifty had been on board previously. So I understand that there have been some concerns that have been popping up over the last 2 or 3 months with regard to landscaping. That's been addressed. The fire chief and I had a pretty good conversation about how these cars needed to be stored so as to give access to the fire department or any other emergency personnel to get to the middle of this parking area. I think that comes as a result of the new owner not having been the proprietor in the past, where we actually walked the property with the fire chief, agreed to park in the marked spots, and leaving lanes so that emergency vehicles could get up and down. So those cars have been moved. They sent a crew down that same day. As part of our special permit, the City Council required us to adopt Butler Circle and to maintain the landscaping there. A contract has been signed for the maintenance of the Butler Circle and also for the maintenance of the property in general. Jackie Van Buskirk, who was sort of boots on the ground, from the last owner and has come forward with the current owner, has set that in motion, has signed a contract about a week and a half ago with a local landscaper. I think it's Monterelli. He signed a contract to keep the place looking like it's not abandoned. So those were the concerns that were I was made aware of, and I'm sure by looking at the email trail, the commissioners were made aware of at the same time. I'm confident that they've been addressed satisfactorily. If not, I'll make sure that they are.
Council, I have a couple of questions. So it's been the special permit was based upon 750 vehicles.
Yes.
And there's storage of trucks, I believe 15, which is part of the 750, is is my interpretation of that reading.
I'd say that sounds right, that it's part, it's subsumed into the 750.
And there are two concerns I have with the trucking component, and I'm not opposed to. I mean, I think every town or city has industry, and you need to have industry for maintain the tax base. My two concerns are what type of tractor trailer trucks are we talking about, if that is in fact what we're talking about, and will they be what type of contents will they have while they're in storage? And secondly, what do they anticipate in terms of operations, the hours of these vehicles going in and out of that parking lot, recognizing that the residential area is to the north of the parking lots?
I'll try to answer those in the order that you were asked.
That's fine.
But I think, yes, it was 750 anticipated by the city council. They were trying to move our numbers up a little bit because over the years we had fluctuated. We started with 4, went to 5, 6, back down to 5, and I think it was a function of a revenue stream, and to the extent that I think it's $25 per spot, and they allowed us, guided us to commit to 750, which would break out to 18,500 or something in that range. So yes, it's 750. The trucks, I believe, are part of the 750 that I'm in addition to, and my understanding is anything that's there is empty. And to the extent that people come and go, that they take the tractor and all those out of it. And we're trying to regulate that because we've been hearing from the neighbors in the past about even some complaints with regard to the rental people, trying to find a particular vehicle, and they may come after hours and they hit the little remote thing that chirps. And, it's not the most pleasant thing to hear at, 3 o'clock in the morning. So we're trying to regulate that, as best we can. And also to keep them, I think the special permit gives us a buffer zone where we need to be so many feet off the property line that abuts a residential use. So that's been delineated as well as a condition of the special permit.
So my reading of how they're entering and exiting is on VFW Parkway. So that would be the.
Yes, that is also a condition of the special permit. You're correct. No, it has to be from the main thoroughfare and not from the side streets or anywhere around residences.
You have to put your mic on, Council. There's a little green button in the middle. There you go.
I think it needs a battery.
This is no.
This is not like the karaoke mic.
Looks like the battery's dead.
It was green earlier.
It was. They left it on overnight.
Is it wireless?
Give it oil enough time to just talk right through the battery.
So you're going to just have to speak a little louder at this point, I guess. That's okay.
The old system always worked.
So the only so I assume that they're not going to be storing anything in those trucks while they're on the lot.
They shouldn't be.
And they're box trucks, I would imagine. Okay. The only commentary that I would have with respect to the $25 per vehicle is that, I mean, I would think commercial trucks would take up more than one space, and therefore I would look at it as it should be additional revenue towards the city.
You're trying to get an extra 15 bucks.
I am actually, Counselor.
No, and that's fine. I remember when it used to be $5 a space, but your ordinance calls for $25 as part of the regs that were promulgated by the commission. We'll figure it out, and if we can get, I think we need to give you a parking plan anyhow when we renew. So does that mean that we get 15 trucks over the 750? Or?
Well, I was looking at it. I was sort of looking at it the other way. I was looking at it. Well, if you get 750 spots in the facility, and trucks are using up 2,
Okay.
would that be 30 spots that would be really taken up? And I don't really. It really didn't go into the level of detail in the special permit. So that's one of the things that I think we'll table for now and come back to you on that issue just to be clear. That doesn't. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's fine.
And that doesn't change my view as to whether when we put this up to vote, whether it won't be it'll be a factor, obviously, and we'll table it, but it won't be something that weighs in on my decision.
No, we can work through that, and I understand that a lot of these processes are fluid, and as you get into the use itself, adjustments need to be made, so we're used to that.
Okay, sounds good. I don't have any other questions.
So those 750 spaces, the purpose, are those for commuters using the sub?
No, we had to stop that
Okay.
by agreement with the T.
So the 750 spaces are for,
Dead cars, overflow storage for the rental car companies.
So this permit would be specifically for the storage of automobiles and trucks.
okay, no, okay.
And to the extent that it's less of a safety hazard, in the past, you used to get between 7:30 and 8:45, everybody sort of getting there at the same time, whereas the overflow doesn't come in bulk, it comes sort of
Trickles in.
Trickles.
So where is the main lot?
We're trying to keep it so that it looks like people are parked at the track, because for 2 reasons. One, it makes it look less like an abandoned use.
Yeah.
The second is that we already have the stripes in the pavement. So it looks like if one didn't know and we're perhaps heading north, you look over, it looks like the track's doing very well. And so we're trying to make it blend, I guess.
Gotcha.
Great.
Gotcha. So it's for overflow. So where's the rental facility? That's overflowing from?
The airport.
Oh, the airport.
is slightly off the airport.
Gotcha.
All of this may change to the minus side, depending on what happens. I know they're building a terminal for the rentals off the airport in
Gotcha.
East Boston, and so that may absorb some of the need that's overflowing into the air. We just don't know.
Yeah. So at nighttime, from a security perspective, there's going to be a
We
man.
have detail 4 hours a day or more, right? Yeah. We have a detail there.
In all of these vehicles, new vehicles, I assume?
Pretty much within, like, no more than 2 years old.
Yeah, that's sometime.
We've been there for 3 or 2 years.
We're not going to have older vehicles in a lot,
Just Jackie's? No. They're all good vehicles.
So and then where do the trucks fit in?
Some-
Just like a trucking company has no space in their yard, they have to put them somewhere.
If something arrives and they need to store for short term because they have to go pick up, later they don't have it on site, then, it's just a short hop.
I guess the only stipulation that I would have with that issue is that the trucks be kept closer to the Wonderland facility and towards the
Yeah.
back of the lot.
I think we had that discussion at the city council. They voiced pretty much the same concern, and we agreed to that. And there may be a restriction with regard to the trucks to keep them up toward the highway, keep them away from the residents.
I don't recall seeing that in the document,
It
but
may not have made it as part of the amended vote, but I know that they made us aware of it.
So the $25 per vehicle per spot, it's annual?
Yes.
Monthly?
yes.
Annual, okay. Yeah, I mean, in terms of truck taking additional spaces, it's splitting hairs, I'm not
It
too
really
concerned
is. I mean,
about
if
that.
it's if it's per spot, I guess it's,
I'm not too concerned about that.
so.
Okay. So that's whether a car is housed there or not, the city is getting that spot.
Yes, it's a spot designated for storage, and, you know, in some weeks, like the vacation weeks, you might see more or less because of, you know,
Yeah.
the rental cars, they tend to flood, you know, certain geographic areas during school vacation. And then at other times, you're only going to see 200 or 300 or 400 cars. Other times, you will see 7.
Yeah. And how long is the license good for?
Well, this one, were it granted today, would expire on 31 December this year, so we'd have to immediately file for renewal.
The annual renewals?
Yes.
Oh, they're, okay.
So what are you doing during the interim period?
I'm sorry?
What are you doing during the interim period? So you're applying for the license today,
Yes,
and so you'll pay the city the fee from now until December.
from January 1 to 2013 to 7. We're paying for the whole year retroactively because there's no provision in the ordinance to prorate.
That's right. That's
So
correct.
we're giving you the whole year, and frankly,
So
usually-
that's my point. So you're paying for this year for the year in use,
yes,
and then at renewal time
we'll pay for 14.
we'll pay for 14. That's right. Okay, that's my understanding as well. Okay. Okay. Any other questions?
No, not at the moment.
So I will, again, I'll just mention that we'll put this up to vote. Recognize that we have 2 commissioners. If it goes to a 1-1 vote, we'll have to table it until Commissioner Guanasso has a chance to weigh in. I would make a motion to approve the storage. I would.
Are there any opponents, though? Are there any opponents?
I'm gonna.
Oh, you are, sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that in a second. I just want to get it on the table first, and then we'll hear from
Gotcha.
opponents and proponents. So then you have 750 sites, spots, which I think. My apologies, guys. So the 750 spots, the trucks would use up 2, and that's 15 spots, so that would be 30 spots, and we would base the fee on that. So essentially, for commercial, you'd be doing 2 spots per vehicle, okay? So with that, are there any proponents that want to speak on behalf of this issue? Hearing and seeing none, I will ask if there's any opponents that want to speak on behalf of this issue. Seeing, hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve the storage based on the 750 vehicles, with the understanding that they're limited to 15 and two spots per site. Is there a second on the table?
I'll second with, again, the understanding that the trucks would be closest to the Wonderland, to keep it out of the view as much as possible. That's important to me.
So we'll amend that so that the trucking vehicles should be closest to the Wonderland facility. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So that motion is on the table.
Yes,
You want to second that?
I'll second the motion, yeah.
Yeah, your application's been approved. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next item on the agenda is Oak Island Convenience Store. Please speak loudly and also state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is William Flati. I came from Oak Island Convenience Store. I'm trying to fix coffees for my little store. Because my customers, they ask me to fix coffee. I was about to months and a half, the store, somebody was having the store, so that's what I'm trying to get a license.
Mm-hmm. Do you, so your plan is just to serve coffee, there isn't any food involved in the process?
No, just coffee.
Just coffee. And would that be during store hours, or would it be specific to a excuse me?
From morning time.
To closing? Or, I'm sorry, from morning to closing?
No, just from 7 to 11.
Okay. I don't have any questions.
This is the one right at the corner of the lights? This is the convenience store? Right at where the lights is, where the street that goes up to Kelly's, is that where the location of this?
Oak Island Road.
Okay. Actually, no questions. I'm good.
Is there a motion on the table?
Yeah, motion to approve common victual. I'm sorry.
Oh, we got actually, so are there any proponents that want to speak on behalf of this issue? Hearing and seeing none, are there any opponents? And hearing and seeing none, I'll now take that
Now
motion.
you'll take it, okay.
Yeah.
Motion to approve the Oak Island Convenience Store common victual license. Very
And
difficult word.
I'll second that motion. Your license has been approved. Good luck. Thank you. Item number 4 is Ravisi Group LLC, doing business as Ristorante Ravisi. So you have 2 applications before the board at this point. Why don't we take the first one? Would be the extension of the hours from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m.?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Can you give me a little sense for what you anticipate in terms of your patrons and what you're going to do in terms of safety and be able to deal with people leaving the establishment, safety in the parking lot and things like that? How do you plan to deal with that?
Can I have him come with me?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Just please state your name for the record, please.
Giuseppe Ravisi, 80 Camille Road, Revere.
Great, thanks.
We pretty much have a good crowd. And the reason why we're asking to extend it to 2 o'clock is because they're leaving at 12:30 to go somewhere else and drink. Where we would want to just keep them there. We have security at the door. We hire, we have a doorman. And if we see that somebody's, first off, the bartenders are very well trained. And we're adamant about shutting people off, and we do it all the time. If we see that they had too much to drink, we call them a cab. We take their keys, they come back the next day and get them, so on and so forth.
Do you have you had any issues since opening?
None.
All of the bartenders are also tip certified, and all of our servers are also tip certified, so they're aware to recognize when they need to, shut someone off.
So your security detail, are they just limited to the establishment, or how does that? What happens at closing? Do they
He calls
step
last call.
outside?
He goes around, he calls last call. And, you know, he assesses the situation, and if he sees that somebody, it hasn't happened yet, but if he notices somebody is too much, the protocol is to take the keys away, call them a cab, and then if he gets to be, if they get, you know, to be rowdy or whatever, then we just call the police, and the police take care of it.
I guess I would ask if approved that at closing time, that, you know, maybe your security detail, if you will, goes out into the parking lot. My main concern is you're in a residential area more so than a lot of the other establishments that came out. And you're not the only one like that, clearly. But I'm sensitive to that, and all of those, and even those that are on the beach. So recognizing that there is, you've got the apartment building next door, and you get residential homes behind there, and that parking lot goes pretty deep
Right.
into the back lot. That I just want to make sure that, one, people leave safely, and then secondly that it's not disturbing the residents at closing time. I mean, you would have that issue whether the closing time was 12, 1, or 2.
Exactly.
But I'm more sensitive to 2 only because most people are probably in bed by 12.
Yeah.
So, having said that, I think I would prefer, I would want you guys to do that, and just so that, one, I think we're consistent with our message here, and secondly, for the safety of your patrons, and also the respect to the neighbors.
We don't have a problem with that.
Right.
The lot across where they park across the street?
That belongs to us.
Okay, so you have that lot too, so is that the lot you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I assume it's lit at night, or that's just street lighting?
Oh, the street lighting, yeah.
Street lighting, it's not really a dark presence at...
No,
Okay.
then actually, the convenience store has their own lighting
It
that
does.
lights in the parking lot also.
Gotcha. So that's I'm just questioning the 2 a.m. We haven't talked about the karaoke, or it's just all combined?
Well, I think they're two separate issues,
Yeah, but-
and one requires a vote, and the extension of to 2 a.m. does not
Correct.
require a vote.
Yeah, okay.
So,
I don't have any other questions on the 2 a.m.
okay. I'll make a motion to approve the extension of 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. I would ask that you have your security at closing. Go out and just monitor the parking lot and make sure that everybody gets out safely, and that there's no incidents. I like the fact that you have somebody in there, and I think that really shows some good thought in the business. So I'll make a motion to approve to 2 a.m.
How's business been? What have it been, about a year now?
About 10 months, yeah. It's so-so. Just getting by, paying the bills.
All right, I'll second the motion.
Thank you.
Your license has been approved. Good luck. The second issue? Second issue is Ravisi Group, doing business as Ristorante Ravisi. Please state your name again for the record, please.
Angela Ravisi.
Great, thanks. And you have an application in for entertainment, karaoke. Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about what you're going to do? My main issue with anything like that is one, crowd control, two, respect to the neighbors. So I'd want to know a little bit about what type of hours are you talking about, how many days a week, what type of, is it going to be somebody from an outside source that's going to be doing the karaoke, or are you going to be doing it, and how is that going to work?
We have someone locally who does karaoke. We really only be looking to do karaoke one night a week. If we had to limit the hours to, let's say, till 12 o'clock, we would do that. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. And And where do you plan to do this within the restaurant?
Well, we're still kind of talking about that. We were thinking of setting it up in the bar area.
Okay.
As far as crowd control, we still have security and a doorman, so, you know, hopefully we'll be able to maintain it that way.
Mhm.
If we need to hire more personnel if it does get to the point where we need more personnel, we will hire whatever personnel we need to.
I mean, you do have limitations as to the number of people that can go in based on.
Exactly. We're not looking to make it a nightclub. We just want to please our guests. You know, it's an older crowd. It's not young kids. You know, they're pretty well behaved, and they just, you know, they want a little something extra to enjoy it.
So what age bracket are you targeting?
30 to, believe it or not, it was more like the 50s and 45s that have been asking for it. So.
Go easy there.
Just on the noise level in the karaoke, has that been tested yet? Because it is a residential area, and I'm not sure if the music would pound out the walls.
No, it hasn't. We don't have the karaoke equipment. We would, you know,
Yeah.
like she said, we have a local guy that.
Yeah, because that's one thing I'd want to know is, again, if karaoke's music, you know, ekes out through the walls, through the windows, and I don't know what effect that's going to have on the residents right around there if they can't. I mean, obviously, I'm not, you know, it could be the volumes can be adjusted. I just want to know if that. So you don't know right now if that would
No,
be.
we don't.
The only thing we have is the jukebox, and I mean, that goes pretty high.
It does.
We've put that up pretty high, and we haven't had any complaints. So
Okay.
I don't see that as being an issue, but we won't want to.
Yeah.
Okay, I would just ask that you know, just be respectful of the neighbors in that respect, and you know, if we have any issues, social complaints, that we address them and just be respectful of the neighbors. That's really the only concern I would have on that issue. Any other
No,
questions?
I think that's the only issue I would have is the.
So are there any proponents that want to speak on behalf of this issue? Hearing and seeing none, I'll ask if there's any opponents. Hearing and seeing none, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
No, this has been approved.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks.
There are two communications. Are you waiting? Are you representing Speakeasy? You're Speakeasy.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Eric Frazier, 62 South Irving Street.
Great. And you're applying for an extension of hours from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m.?
Correct.
You are? Okay. So what do you anticipate doing in terms of safety? I mean, I know you pretty much have a regular business, and you know, customers that are in probably at 1 will probably be until 2, but what type of safety procedures are you going to have in place to address it?
I'm there 5 nights a week. We close up with the bartenders, very experienced. The Monday, Tuesday, we have another experienced bartender on. I don't see any rowdiness going on down there. So it's a small crowd.
Yeah. And you would use the same methods that you would for closing at 1, making sure that
Correct.
people are leaving properly and
Yes.
in good order. Okay. In general, how do you handle that when you're closing? And last call when it was 1 a.m. You know, what type of practices did you have when people patrons were leaving?
We would basically start wrapping up about 12:30. If we see anyone really drunk, but down there, it's like I said, a real small crowd, a real tight-knit crowd in there. We would take their keys, call for a cab, you know, same as for DC's, but just basically small stuff like that.
Okay. I don't have any questions.
I really don't have any questions on this.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the extension to 2 a.m. and just be, again, respectful of neighbors and just have, more oversight.
I'll second the motion.
Your extension's been approved.
Thank you.
Yep, okay. We have two communications. Communication dated 8/13/13 from Massachusetts State Lottery Commission regarding an application for a keynote license for Market Basket number 74 at 275 Squire Road. We've got a communication dated 9/6/13 from Massachusetts State Lottery Commission regarding an application for a Keno to Go license for Carler Market at 102 Shirley Avenue. Our next meeting will be scheduled for Wednesday, October 23rd at 3 p.m. And I will make a motion to close the meeting today.
I'll second that motion.
Motion. Meeting is closed.